All right, now we're going to learn how to remove blemishes in Photoshop on our images. Here's my sample image. I'm currently in Lightroom. I went through this photo and I went through our whole process of editing. I cropped and I straightened my image. I went through my color grading process. I even added a few mask layers to the photo. You can see the before and the after. Okay, so now to get this photo into Photoshop, I go down to my film strip and I right click, edit in Adobe Photoshop. Hit OK, give it a second, and now it popped up and we're in Photoshop. First thing you want to do when you get into Photoshop is to make a copy of the photo. So here's my layer in the layer panel. It's the only layer that's there. I'm going to hold and drag into that square that has a plus sign in it, and it will create a copy for you. Now that I have a copy, I'm going to work on my copy layer and leave my background layer alone, the original. That way I can see the progress that I'm making as we move throughout this, okay? There's a few ways, there's a few ways that we can go about removing blemishes. The way I'm going to show you guys is with the patch tool. So to find the patch tool, it's the 8th tool down. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And if you don't see this icon automatically on your Photoshop, hold down on it, and then all these extra tools will pop up. Click the one that says patch tool. From here, we can zoom in. The more you zoom in, the easier it's going to be for you guys to see what needs to be removed or not. And then the goal of this is just to find any scars or any blemishes that need to be removed and remove them. And how do you do that is you're using the patch tool. You hold and outline what you want to remove, and then you'll just click and drag it to a different part of the image, and it's going to source wherever you drag it. So if I move it over towards her eyebrow, you can see it's sourcing from her eyebrow, and it's going to come to your eyebrow. Okay, and then it adds the eyebrow texture there, which we don't want. Okay, so just drag it somewhere near where the original outline is, and then move on. So just click and keep on going through. And I'm going to try and do this pretty quickly, just so that this video isn't too long. So now I'm going through. Okay, on her eye. Okay, I can zoom out a little bit more. And I'm just going through and I'm removing any like pimples or scars that I see as I'm going through. Now, I'm probably going to miss a few, and that's just because I'm trying to rush through this for the sake of the video. If you want to fast forward through this part, you can, just to get to the next section of this. Okay, I'm almost done. Okay, just about done here. You can also do this to remove any like little strands of hair that are across her face. It'll get rid of that pretty easily as well. Okay, all right. And now we can look at our before and our after. If I hide my copy image, you can see the before and the after and what was originally there. And then after the removal, how much better it looks already. Okay, the last step that we're going to do is we're going to try and even out some of the skin tones and some of the changes that I made. So the way that we do that is we're going to grab our brush. So grab your brush tool. It's the tool directly below it. Again, if you don't see the same brush icon that I do, hold down on it, click brush tool. Make sure up at the top that you're on a soft round brush, that your mode is on lighten, and that the opacity is around 20. It doesn't need to be exactly on 20, but around 20. Okay. From here, how this works, if you hold down the Alt key, you'll get this dropper. What this dropper does is it selects the color. So if I click on her hair, you'll see that over here, the color that is selected is dark. If I hold on Alt and I click on her face, it adds the color, the skin tone of her face there. All right, so what we're going to do is click somewhere near where you want to brush over, just to kind of even out any discoloration. So right here on her nose, I'm going to click somewhere off around her cheek, and then I can just kind of lighten up that area a little bit. Same thing over here, right? You can make that brush a little bit smaller if you want, and you're just kind of brushing over to even out some of these spots. Okay. And then again, you can see the before and the after. Okay, I can even add a little bit more to this light on her chin. The last part of this process is once you're done editing your photo, you hit Control S. So if I press Control S, what it does is it automatically saves the changes that I did back in Lightroom. And you just give it a second for it to load up. And there it is. So now that's the original. And